All right, and we're live again. So we got Tim Means on this one versus again, here I am going into the fights. I don't know who's fighting. We got Tim Means versus Max Griffin is the other guy's name. I love Tim Means' nickname or his MMA name, Dirty Bird. Tim the Dirty Bird Means. That's a hilarious um, nickname. My dad was saying that my nickname or my fighter's name or even maybe my channel name should be That Bastard. And I like that. That's a great nickname. You know, you could use it in so many ways. Who beat your ass? Oh, that bastard. That bastard beat your ass. That's me. That bastard. We were talking about me coming out with another product, another instructional, which I have in the description of this video. And one of my specialties is the arm bar. And he was like, if you come out with this instructional on the arm bar, and it's like 20 hours long, they'll just go, that bastard. He's got the most comprehensive, longest arm bar instructional out there. And it just turned to this running joke of people going, that bastard, referring to me, and then my nickname becoming That Bastard. I'm even considering naming the whole channel That Bastard. So let me know what you guys think of the nickname That Bastard. But a close second is Tim Means' nickname here, which is Dirty Bird. The Dirty Bird, Tim the Dirty Bird Means. Here we got Max Griffin walking into the cage right now. He's got a gigantic brass knuckles tattoo on his side. And funny enough, I've done about 100 videos in a row in the last 100 days. And the first video that I did was on how to properly wear and use brass knuckles. And that's been like my most popular video that I've done. Got a couple thousand views, and just seems to keep on growing. I think it has something to do with the keywords there. When people look up brass knuckles, my video comes up, and it's just slowly growing over this whole time. Where a lot of my videos, they just hit a certain point and then they don't have any more views on them. But that brass knuckle video just keeps on growing. Anyway, we got Tim Means here, who I'm a fan of. He's been fighting in the UFC for a long time. He's got like over 25 fights just in the UFC. And really a well-rounded, experienced guy. I think he's 38, which is a little bit on the older side for fighting at the highest level in the UFC. And I'm a big fan of his. He had a recent fight with Mike Perry where he won, and that's an exciting fight. I always like to see Mike Perry fight. He's been here in Florida. I've trained with him, and he's based out of Orlando and trains at Fusion Excel and all those places. So we shall see what Tim Means and Max Griffin have for each other. We got That Brad Tate, that's his handle on Instagram, as the cut man here, who's just putting the final bit of Vaseline above their eyes and stuff. Super cool guy. He'll respond to you if you message him on Instagram, and has really become a part of the show. He's an excellent cut man too, and he's got a hilarious thing where he whenever he sees Gilbert Burns, it's on site, and they pretend that they're fighting each other. All right, so the tail of the tape, Tim Means 38 to Max Griffin's 36. Tim Means 6'2", Max Griffin 5'11", both weighing in at 170.5. a 75-inch reach for Tim Means, and a 76-inch reach for Max Griffin. And should be a good fight. We got Calvin Kattar up next. He's an awesome fighter. He fought Max Holloway and took the worst beating I've ever seen anyone take in my life, probably. And he got beat within an inch of his life, it seemed. And then he came back, and he's been on a dominant run. He lost like the closest possible fight ever to Josh Emmett. But what's crazy is he shows such heart and determination in his fights that he seems to make more fans while losing, which you don't generally see. But man, the guy's got a lot of heart, and his opponent is saying that he's probably taken too much damage, which we will see later. But here we go, round one of Tim Means and Max Griffin here. Max Griffin with a nice cross down the middle, kind of rocks Tim Means a little bit. Both fighters in the center of the octagon. Tim Means with the southpaw stance, and Max Griffin with the orthodox. Oof, a nice hook over the top with from Max Griffin. And that's a bad sign for Tim Means if these strikes are able to get through. Oof. A couple strong. Oh, huge shot for Max Griffin. This might be it. This might be the end of the fight here. Tim Means struggling to survive here. Max Griffin on top. Tim Means had an interesting thing where he trapped the guy's arm, trapped the guy's glove in bottom side control here. Max Griffin looking for this Americana. Tim Means rolls out, looks to try to scramble, make it a wrestling battle, picks up the leg, switches things up here, and starts to pin Max Griffin against the fence. Wild exchange there where Tim Means almost knocked out. Means really using his experience to kind of stay alive and make it a situation where you're constantly moving and constantly in a close quarters grappling exchange where you can't really get knocked out when the distance is so tight, and when you guys are constantly moving like that, you need to be able to adjust your base and your weight. And these hooks are dangerous from Max Griffin. I wouldn't be surprised if another one gets through and finishes this fight. Man. Nice outside leg kick from Tim Means. I like Tim Means' strategy here where he's throwing kicks, really sort of using his length. He seems to be a bit taller than Max Griffin, and throwing those front kicks down the center. Is a great way to win this for him. Max Griffin came down the pipe with a strong 1-2. Oof, and a nice couple punches there. A nice hook from Max Griffin again. Wobbles Tim Means. Another hook. Man, those hooks are a dangerous weapon, and Tim Means really has to watch out for those. Tim Means looking like he would like to turn this into a wrestling or a grappling fight, and Max Griffin really having no of that. Nice jab, double jab, triple jab motions from Max Griffin, and then a nice two straight down the middle. I have a jab masterclass on my YouTube channel where I show all the different jabs and the contexts in which the jabs exist in, and that double jab, triple jab is a great way of closing distance, as you are seeing Max Griffin use right now. Tim Means with a spinning hook kick here. And a takedown from Max Griffin. Quite unexpected. Tim Means is defending, though, and goes up against the fence and uses the fence as a way to defend this takedown here. Kind of unexpected because Tim Means is more of the superior wrestler, at least on paper, and Max Griffin changes things up and goes for a takedown at the end of the round. And you could see Tim Means' superior wrestling kind of come into play and defend that takedown. So there's a certain like level of wrestling where when you are first trying to wrestle with someone, you're trying to beat their hands and like their elbows and their head position, and all of these things, if done properly in the right stance from an experienced wrestler, are in the way of your shot, and they could use those hands to down block and to defend your arms coming forward towards them. And you know, in wrestling, a lot of times you need to use a really good setup to get the arms, the hands, the head out of the way so that you have easy access to the hips to be able to do your single leg and double leg takedowns. But then there's defense when someone gets in on a double leg takedown like that at the hips, where you could hip check, you could bump your hips forward and defend a takedown like that. And that's what you saw Tim Means doing. Here we go, second round, beginning just now. And looking a lot like the first. Both guys have a bit of an awkward kind of guard and way that they hold their hands. Tim Means with a hook, hook, hook combination there. Left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook kind of combination, kind of unique. Should be an interesting fight. And if you're in the comments, let me know who you got. Oh, love that new nickname from Ken Shalay. Thank you so much. Ken Shalay, my dad's the one who gave me the nickname, That Bastard. And might have to make that a more common thing. It's a pretty funny nickname. Tim Means with a nice cross to the liver. Nice body shot. Nice front kick to the head and then a leg kick. I really think that's where the success of this fight lies for Tim Means, in his ability to throw kicks. And an interesting pitter patter there where Tim Means hits Max Griffin in the head, left, right, left, right. Kind of an interesting combination that I haven't really seen before. Yeah, Tim Means comes forward. He does this like left, right, strange kind of combination. There he goes, throws another front kick to the body. If Tim Means keeps it like this is a fight that he could win, where he seems to be outpointing Max Griffin. And Max Griffin seems to be a little bit tired and doesn't quite have the same ability to throw the output with the power that he was throwing in the first round. He was saying in the pre-fight interviews how he was going to overwhelm Tim Means, and you certainly saw that in the first round. Definitely got to give the first round to Max Griffin, but in the second round, it looks like Tim Means is the one taking over this fight and outpointing him. But with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left, a lot can still happen in this round. Another front kick here up the midsection from Tim Means. Nice leg kick from Max Griffin. Nice flying knee attempt there from Tim Means. And then another takedown attempt from Griffin. It's really demoralizing when you get all the way in on the takedown, all the way to the hips, and then you're still unable to finish it. And that's what you're seeing here with Max Griffin. One minute, 12 seconds left in this second round. In the first round, this had the appearance of a fight that might end early, and now it appears that this is going to be a fight that goes to the decision, even though anything could happen, of course, and it is a 3-round fight with 1 minute left in the second round. Ooh, a nice cross there for Max Griffin as Tim Means goes to shoot in. And that combination force of Tim Means coming forward and Max Griffin throwing his cross really kind of hurt Tim Means a bit here. And in the middle of his shot, he sort of went down and ended up on the bottom, sort of pulling guard, but also just trying to recover from that shot. And it looks like he's got a small cut by his left eye here. Going for a triangle attempt here, but only 4 seconds left in the round. Too little, too late. A day late and a dollar short, as they say. And this fight will see a third round and probably a decision. The Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul fight is happening as well. I'm excited for that. But I thought the fight was at 9 o'clock, and it looks like there's a whole card of boxing fights that are before that. So that makes Ryan sad because I want that instant gratification. But man, I would be so sad to see Anderson Silva get knocked out and did dirty like Tyron Woodley. Christian Callahan says, "What round?" Christian, I'd love to give you a straight answer here, but we're going into the third round right here of this fight with Max Griffin and Tim the Dirty Bird Means. Third round's beginning right now, actually. But other than that, I'm not exactly too sure what your question is. Both of these guys just look super tough. And Tim Means in on a deep double leg and then switches to a single leg. And beautiful job there by Tim Means. Gets Max Griffin down. Max Griffin may look like he was injured in that scramble a little bit. Max Griffin tries to turn it around for a double leg of his own and takes down Tim Means. Wow. How unexpected. Throws a nice elbow to his face right where the cut is for good measure. And, you got to wonder with Tim Means, you start to look a little bit old in these fights where you just can't compete at the very highest level with these other fighters. But he's such an experienced veteran too that it's hard to make an exact judgment. Tim Means with the classic Hoist Gracie style heel stomps in the back of the close guard here, using it on the foot of Max Griffin, where you take your heel and you dig the heel of your foot into the guy while you're on the bottom of the guard here. A move I haven't seen done for a long time. Max Griffin got Tim Means pushed up against the fence here. And Max Griffin is doing a good job of staying square to Tim Means' hips, where for you to really have a great offensive guard, you need to be able to form an angle on your opponent, like to go into arm bars, to go into triangles, and all of this stuff. And if you're able to keep both of your hips in line, a great way that I've seen it put before is you shadow your center line with their center line. It becomes a really difficult thing for the guy on bottom to mount a lot of offense. And you see that done here very well by Max Griffin. And another tactic that Max Griffin's also using is he's pushing Tim Means' head up against the fence. And when you're controlling the top of the lever of the spine, which is the head, that's being pushed up and raked up against the wall, up Tim Means looking to try to get out of here, go for an armbar attempt. Max Griffin looking to almost like let him back up and strike. Tim Means gets back to his feet here. But as I was saying, when your head is pressed up against the fence, it's hard to change and turn angles as well. Tim Means looking to go for this kind of hip switch type motion where he digs his arm in. Max Griffin takes him down again. Really good stuff here for Max Griffin, showing off his MMA wrestling, even though Tim Means is the more credentialed wrestler. A lot of times, too, these takedowns in these fights come from more of the ability to set up the takedown within the striking. Way John Danaher likes to call it is grapple boxing, where your setups in a traditional wrestling sense are ways to move the collar ties and to deal with the actual hand fight. And wrestling is great for the finishing of takedowns, but you need a whole different way of setting up the takedowns in an MMA context. And therefore, you could see someone who's a superior wrestler like Tim Means get out wrestled by a guy who understands MMA wrestling with the setups better than yourself, which is what's happening here in this Tim Means versus Max Griffin fight. Tim Means, though, switches it up and throws a nice elbow there to Max Griffin's head. Kind of an upward elbow, more of like a 6-12 than a 12-6. Gives up an underhook here. Max Griffin looking to come out the corner and take his back. Tim Means sort of dominating and in good position here, in the dogfight position for a minute, and then a nice double leg. A nice knee to the body. Tim Means going for another double leg here. 5 seconds left in this fight. 3, 2, and then a huge double leg to finish the fight. And the judge wrote something on his scorecard there. I wonder if it would be enough to give Tim Means that round. That is a tough one for the judges to score. It's either 2-1 for Tim Means or 2-1 for Max Griffin. I don't see anyone there that won all three rounds. I got to give Max Griffin the first round. The second round is really up for grabs, and the third round is really up for grabs. So hard to say. Let's see who the judges give it to here.
Understand. He even landed good. I think he's.
All right. So they're coming back for the official decision here. Max Griffin looking like he thinks he won this fight. Now looking a little bit nervous. 29-28 for Griffin. 29-28 for Means. And looks like they gave it to Max Griffin here. Good stuff. I think he probably deserved it. A very close fight. Interesting stuff. Bok Fu and kickboxing black belt. Bok Fu. I've never even heard of Bok Fu. I'm going to look that up right now. What is Bok Fu? Bok Fu is a Chinese system of martial arts that is composed of many different fighting arts from around the world. It is one of the few systems of martial arts founded and developed in the West that is truly internationally recognized because of its content and consistent success in world competition. Wow, and I guess it's a subset of Kung Fu. Bok Fu Do, I guess, is the full like wording of it, and it means the system of the white tiger. That's wild. It was founded by Grandmaster Richard Lee in 1967. It is a Chinese system of martial arts that is composed of many different fighting arts from around the world. What I just read. Interesting. Huh. Well, you learn something new every day. I didn't know Bok Fu existed, and now I do because of that fight. It's interesting too. Bok Fu and kickboxing black belt. A lot of times it seems a little bit suspicious to me because a lot of times in kickboxing systems they don't award black belts, and in most kung fu systems they don't award black belts. A lot of times they are awarded sashes or a sash in kung fu, and you wear a specific sash. And then some kickboxing guys do belts, but most don't. And even in different systems of Muay Thai, sometimes you have like an armband around your arm that signifies your rank in the kickboxing system of Muay Thai. And then some Muay Thai practitioners have no ranking system whatsoever. They're showing the highlights here of Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya, which should be a card that's coming up soon. And they're just showing vicious knockouts from Alex Pereira here. Really amazing striking, and what a masterclass with the hooks. Really a great hook that Pereira has. That's an interesting fight because a lot of times in the UFC, there are these guys that have this. A book on my bookshelf just dropped for no reason. That's kind of odd. What was I saying? A lot of these kickboxers in the UFC have this certain style or this certain strategy, like a Robert Whittaker, and I love Robert Whittaker. I'm a huge Robert Whittaker fan. That they're really good at doing one thing, which is striking. Maybe it's not just to say really good at doing one thing, but their strategy, the same strategy every single fight, is just avoid takedowns and turn the fight into a kickboxing match. And that works for a certain amount of time until they either get out wrestled or they get matched with a superior striker. And you saw Israel Adesanya get matched with Robert Whitaker, and Adesanya is a superior striker. So you're trying to have a kickboxing match with a superior kickboxer. And that might be the fight that we see here with Israel Adesanya versus uh, Alex Pereira. And that's a tough fight for Israel Adesanya. Whereas Alex Pereira might not be like championship worthy because his grappling is just not to the level that it should be. But if you're a better kickboxer than Adesanya, and Adesanya is going to make it a kickboxing fight, he might win the title. Where you get a like a Paulo Costa or a Marvin Vettori that could turn it into a grappling match, would have a much easier time defeating a Pereira because they could survive the striking and implement their grappling heavy style. And this style of always turning your fight into a kickboxing match, and like not being able to adapt and be able to throw in and mix all of the different martial arts, um, is kind of a, dare I say, a weak style, or at least it's a style that has some holes in it. Because you see guys that are really good, like Robert Whitaker, who just tries to turn every fight into a kickboxing fight. He runs into a better kickboxer, and then he's trying to do a kickboxing fight with a better kickboxer. And it didn't turn out so well for him. And that same fate might be with Israel Adesanya. So we have here Calvin Kattar versus who is he versus? Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen, 18-1. That's a heck of a record. And 18-1 is a scary record. But Kattar has a lot of experience. And man, I don't know if there's anyone tougher on planet Earth than Calvin Kattar. I'm excited for this Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva fight. I would love to see Anderson Silva defeat Jake Paul, but I don't know. I mean, Anderson Silva is amazing. He's had so many striking victories, and certainly in his prime, Jake Paul stood no chance for him. But the wild card here is Anderson Silva is like 47 years old or something. How old is Anderson Silva? How old? Yeah, 47. Oh my goodness. To be a professional athlete for over 20 years is a wild, wild thing. And Anderson Silva was in his 30s when I believe he made his UFC debut. And he made his UFC debut in like, I gotta look all this up. When did Anderson Silva make his UFC debut? In 2006 on UFC 5. Is that right? UFC 5. He started his UFC career. That doesn't even sound right. It says Silva made his debut on Ultimate Fight Night 5 on June 2006. No, it can't be. It can't be UFC 5 because the first UFC was in 1993 and this is 2006 and they had multiple cards. So I don't know what Google's saying. It says that he began his career in 1997. I'm on Wikipedia now. Huh. Hmm. Okay. Well, it says the second he fought in Cage Rage and Rumble on the Rock in the beginning of his career. And it says UFC Fight Night 5, which is an interesting name of a card. But then it says his second fight was UFC 64, which sort of gives you an idea of how far back he's been fighting in the UFC. UFC 64. And now we're on almost UFC 300. Last time was UFC 280. Arnold Allen here about to be walking out, shaking the hands of his teammates, getting the Vaseline above his eyes. Says he's got the third longest win streak in UFC featherweight history of 9, which to have a nine fight win streak is serious. But Calvin Kattar is no chump, so should be an interesting fight. One thing that seems wild about this guy is he's got really military-esque kind of posture. Oh, and Faraz Zahabi is in his coach. Very interesting. Faraz is known for having a injury prevention plan and taking care of the fighter's posture and things of that nature. A lot of times you see guys like me who have been around fighting or infighting for a long time have this like shoulders forward shell type, high shoulders, no neck type posture, because that posture is good for fighting, but it's not necessarily good for living. And it's good when you see a fighter who makes his living off of fighting, but doesn't have that be his posture that he's in all the time. And here's something I didn't know: Calvin Kattar's ranked number 5 in the world, and he's from Massachusetts. And I have a lot of family from Massachusetts. Hey, we got 5 people watching. If you're watching, throw something in the comment section. Much love to all of you. And should be an interesting fight here with Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Allen. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. And we're about to get underway here. I'm watching this guy too, the MMA Guru, where he's doing the whole card here. And man, just getting crazy amounts of donations on his stream. I hope to one day have my channel able to do that. That'd be awesome. I think I need 1,000 subscribers to be able to get donations on the stream. So if you're watching, please subscribe. So this is one of those fights where we got the tail of the tape. Calvin Cater 34, Arnold Allen 28. Calvin Cater 5'11", Arnold Allen 5'8". Both weighing in right around 145. Calvin Cater with a 72-inch reach and a 70-inch reach for Arnold Allen. This is one of those classic situations where Calvin Kattar is fighting for his way to stay at the absolute top of the division, and Arnold Allen is the hungry up and comer who's looking to break into that top five. And when you have Faraz Sahabi as your coach, John Danaher black belt, and extremely knowledgeable coach and fighter himself, I don't think actually it's accurate to say that Faraz is a fighter, but very, very knowledgeable coach at the very least. And it's going to be a good game plan that Arnold Allen has against Calvin Kattar in this fight. Faraz definitely has one of the highest fight IQs as a coach that you could have. I guess his name is Arnold Almighty Allen as his fighter's name. I wonder if Calvin Kattar has a nickname. I like my nickname called the Bastard. Calvin Kattar is known to be called the Boston Finisher. Interesting. You can find a lot of stuff on Google. Even though it doesn't seem like he uses that nickname too much. We got Herb Dean as the referee in this main event. Of course, it's a main event, so it's 5 rounds. And both fighters come out. They're both in open stances here, where Calvin Kattar is in the orthodox stance and Arnold Allen is in the southpaw. Arnold Allen had opened up with some leg kicks, where you kick the shin. He throws a couple more of those. And like I said, all we know about Calvin Kattar is you're going to have to fucking kill him if you want to get him out of this fight. He is just such a tough fighter. And Max Holloway, when he fought him, he ripped Calvin Kattar's face off completely. And Calvin Kattar just walked him down with no face. So, you start to wonder, what can you do to get this guy out of there? You have to put him to sleep, or start breaking his limbs with submissions, or I guess you get a clean knockout. But there's something about when you're a guy like Calvin Kattar, when you decide to not get knocked out, you're very, very difficult to knock out. So far, these guys are just trying to find a bit of a sense of advantage here for both fighters. I equate this a lot like a chess match when both expert chess players start to come out and play chess against each other. You're just looking for the tiniest advantage on the chessboard. And that's what you see here. Whereas later in the fight, you see crazy takedowns, scrambles, rounds won and lost, and chaos on this chessboard. 3 minutes left here in the first round. Nothing super significant is having both fighters still feeling each other out, throwing a couple leg kicks, throwing a couple jabs. Jabs that aren't even landing, jabs that are just kind of feeling the range, feeling the distance. Arnold Allen now throwing some punches straight down the middle. A lot of times the jab is just a punch to be able to close distance, where you throw it just so that you could step forward with the right hand behind it. Oof, Calvin Kattar looked like he threw a leg kick, but it looked like it hit the knee of Arnold Allen. And something that Arnold Allen was criticizing in this fight was that Calvin Kattar's taken a lot of damage, and he is saying that he's a sort of beaten up and washed up fighter from just being in so many of those wars. And so far, we shall see. 1 minute 53 seconds in the first round. Not a super eventful round. Ooh, a nice couple punches there for Arnold Allen. Throw some big hooks to get Calvin Kattar backing up and against the fence here. There's the most significant exchange of the fight so far. About 90 seconds left. And sometimes, though, you see these guys that are in these absolute knockdown, drag out wars. Their chin just goes like this. Where and a good example is when Stipe fought Francis Ngannou. Stipe survived all of Francis Ngannou's heavy shots, and got a 5-round decision with his incredible wrestling and octagon control on Ngannou. But he got knocked out the first round of his next fight with DC, and you just can't imagine DC hitting as hard as Francis Ngannou hit. But Francis Ngannou sort of wore out Stipe's chin, and that's something you see here, or not here, but it's something that you see in fights where guys have been in absolute knockdown, drag out wars over and over and over again. Oh, something happened where Calvin Kattar seemed to have injured himself. Arnold Allen on top of it here, looking for a Darce choke. No, sorry, it's an anaconda choke here from the way that he has it locked up. But let's see. Calvin Kattar seems to survive to the end of this round, but we'll see what kind of injury Calvin Kattar has in this fight here. Bad luck, bad news for Calvin Kattar. He's stretching that leg out now, and it'll probably be a target for Arnold Allen going into the next fight. His coach is asking him, "Your right knee, how does it feel?" They're showing it on replay right here. Yeah, Calvin Kattar threw a crazy flying knee, and then he landed on his knee weird. Oh, ouch. Man, bad luck there for Calvin Kattar. Let's see what happens here in this second round. Should be an interesting, compelling round. Calvin Kattar's got to dig himself out of a hole here. Again, Calvin Kattar's so tough, it could rightfully be that he tore something in his knee and he's just fighting because he's just that tough. But it looked like it could have been stopped there for a second. Arnold Allen coming out. In these scenarios too. Oh, Calvin Kattar gets dropped down to the floor, and that knee is absolutely messed up. The first kick that Arnold Allen landed, Calvin Kattar went straight down. Unfortunate ending to this fight. A nice win for Arnold Allen, but man, unfortunate ending. Hard to watch even. A guy get taken out by injury in that way. And of course, it had to do with Arnold Allen in the fight. But Calvin Kattar just threw this stupid knee, this ridiculous flying knee, and it really kind of cost him dearly. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so what I'm saying oh no to is Arnold Allen threw a leg kick on the other leg, the leg that wasn't injured, and you saw Calvin Kattar try to base and stand on the bad leg that is injured, and you saw his knee like pop out of place. Terrible, terrible to watch. Oh my god. You see it in slow motion, his knee just ow. That hurts. Calvin Kattar's so tough though. His shit was probably already super fucked up going into that second round, but he just toughed through it, and his body just gave out on him, and you saw his knee just completely like give way. So anyway, a great victory for Arnold Allen. You know, even though it's a little bit cheap that Calvin Kattar got like injured in a way, Arnold Allen definitely had something to do with it. I might be back for the Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul fight, but please throw me a subscribe, guys. And I would love to be able to get to 1,000 followers and turn this into a big stream. And I love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night. And let me know in the comment section if I should come back for the Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul fight. Thank you so much. Have a good one.